Hello guys, what's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar. I am making this video regarding current events. I was actually on my way to bed and scrolling on TikTok as I tend to do before I sleep, and ran across um, this topic. And I haven't really spoken on this topic, but the latest developments makes me want to talk about it. Big shout out to the African superstar family. Michael Pan is the first one in the building. Please make sure you like the stream, guys. You know what the protocols are now. Yes, 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 yes. What's up? Big shout out to the African superstar family. I know that this opinion is going to be unpopular. I'm guesstimating that based on uh, the perspectives and the comments and the social media surrounding this situation. So apparently, I believe it was last week, the CEO of United Healthcare was gunned down in New York as he, early in the morning, around 6:30 in the morning, as he was attending some kind of meeting or heading to a meeting or so. And obviously, there were surveillance of this individual and whatnot. Some of the latest development is apparently a McDonald's worker made a tip to the police of this individual that they were looking for. Okay. And my unpopular opinion is the response to this man being killed. Now, maybe I feel this way because I've worked in customer service. I've actually worked for United Healthcare in Columbus, Ohio, and I know a bit of how everything works. But the perspective is that this man deserved it somehow. The CEO deserved it. I mean, obviously, a lot of insurance companies, they are savage, they are criminals, they are crooks, they are some of the most profitable businesses. And we've all probably had a run-in or two with our insurance companies. Typically when you go for service or need service, I mean, obviously if you're in the UK, my British viewers, this doesn't apply to you because we have the NHS in the UK, so healthcare is provided. Basic healthcare is provided unless you want to go private, and that's on your own dime or whatever. And in my opinion, healthcare is a lot more affordable in the UK. Prescriptions, visits, this kind of stuff compared to America. And America is just exorbitant. But the perspective is that, the CEO deserved it. That's what I'm getting. And people are happy. People have been rejoicing. People have been expressing they hope that the killer is not caught. This kind of stuff. And this is terrible. This is terrible. American vigilante culture where judge and jury is right then and there. Okay, you decide, yeah, this person needs this and that. You see, people don't look in depth at these kind of things. They don't look at the bigger picture. Immediately when I learned about the situation, I thought to myself, that person doesn't even have anything to do with your grievance. Okay. If you have a problem, for instance, with the health insurance company, the CEO don't even, from day to day, he doesn't even deal with that. There's a completely different department that deals with claims, that deals with billing. There's a different department that does customer service. The people that are actually handling your claim, or maybe perhaps denying your claims, or whatever the situation may be, is not the CEO, number one. Okay. Number two, if we all just decide that, yeah, we just gonna retaliate on anybody and anybody who makes us upset. You see, for instance, in this situation, this person could have actually lashed out at anybody in general. If he was mad at the healthcare insurance company, he could have just taken it out on anyone that came out of the building or anywhere, anyhow. That's why vigilante culture is crazy. But obviously, you know, the idea is that, oh, well, again, this person deserved it. We've decided, you know, we don't feel sympathetic. That person has a family of their own. That person has children of their own. And that person is not directly connected to the problem, the issue that you had. Number one. All right. Number two, guys, it means it could be any of us. That's the part that Westerners just don't get. You know, you see things happening to people all the way around you, and you just think somehow, hey, I'm not involved. You know, this vigilante culture is impacting so many people. You know, this is like police brutality. This is mass shootings, you know, random shootings. This is disagreements getting out of hand or whatever. People are getting shot left and right for erroneous reasons because of this. And it's just so crazy. So anyway, like I said, the latest development is that there was a McDonald's worker who apparently made a tip-off call about this, you know, the suspect. Okay, and probably, I believe, led to his arrest or led to his location or something like that. Now people are upset with the person who snitched. Number three, don't shoot the messenger. Listen, if you are out there wilding out, okay, you're out there living willy-nilly. You're out there living by the seat of your pants and doing whatever and whatever, okay? That is your problem. Being mad at the person who has exposed for what you're doing, it's misguided, guys. It's totally misguided. You know, do you want these kind of psycho criminals on the streets? So the alternative is people know who has done this, harboring this guy, you know, protecting this guy, allowing this guy to just run the streets. What if you become his next target? What if he gets angry about this or that and he decides, okay, hey, I've taken out the insurance CEO. Now I'm going to go to T-Mobile. Now I'm going to go to Starbucks. Now I'm going to go to, you know, the Hilton Hotel. Hello. You know, and I've always told my friends, listen, me personally, if you are doing crazy stuff and I'm aware and there's money involved, I'm just telling you now, I'm turning your ass in. I'm turning your ass in. Yeah. Because why are you doing all that? And why are you making me aware? So, you know, obviously I'm going to give you the burden of proof to know that, okay, Gina, that's how she rolls. Yeah, because guess what, guys? You would do it to me. Y'all hoes ain't loyal. Ain't that how the song goes? Everybody's out here. But my thing is, like, you doing crazy stuff. I'm concerned about the community. I'm concerned about, I don't want psychos running loose. Okay, if you're a loose cannon like that, your emotions have gotten to that level where you are no longer rational. I don't know the situation. I don't know why he did what he did, you know, but I know that it probably wasn't even that serious. And like a lot of this violence, the cause and effect of a lot of this gun violence in America is not even that serious. But again, this goes in the pot as to why I don't choose to be there and why I advise you guys to look at the bigger picture. Because you see, you're in environments where people think this kind of behavior is norm. People think this kind of behavior is justified. People think it's totally reasonable. And it's not. You know, the mission statement of this platform, SMP, strategy, maturity, and patience. It means that we don't react, but, you know, rashly. That's what it means, guys. Okay, it means that we think about the moving pieces. Okay, we're more proactive. You know, we think about the big picture. We strategize. We plan. We order our steps. For those of us that are high performers, we understand there's a lot at stake when whatever action we take. So we don't just casually react. Now, we may battle our feelings, battle our thoughts to just flip out, attack someone, get violent, shout, cut somebody out, whatever, however you may feel. But at the end of the day, you need to look at the bigger picture. And so, again, I know this is a very unpopular opinion. I've literally not seen anybody talk rationally about this. I spoke to one of my friends in the US who is a nurse, and she's on the same wavelength with me. Like, it's the wild, wild west. People are just deciding and feeling justified. Okay, this person needs to die because of whatever problem. And it's not just a corporate thing. It's romantic. It's students at the school. It's disgruntled employees. It's just like, okay, woe is me. I have a problem. Somebody needs to pay. Blood got to be shed. And I mean, I will say the one positive thing about this is that it's white on white crimes. Yeah, that's white people stuff. But a lot of times we don't even have the energy or the smoke for the people that deserve the energy or smoke. Usually when it comes to Black people, the energy and smoke is towards our own people, which is crazy. Even when we protest, we don't go burn up City Hall. We don't go burn up, the affluent neighborhoods or the factories or anything that would actually maybe have an impact. Where do we burn up? We burn up in our backyard. We burn up the shops that we need and utilize and patronize. We burn small Black businesses, Black-owned businesses, devastate their business. And, it's just like the logic is just whack. Totally off. And it's all fun and games when it's other people. You see, it's all fun and games when we look at it and we go, oh my goodness, look at this and look at that. Yeah, guys, calculate that it could be you. You're living in that environment. And this is the mentality of the people that you are among, okay, that you work with, that you live with, and so on and so forth. I just think that it was wrong. I think it was wrong. I think it was just excessive. Obviously, like I said, most people in America probably have had to deal with insurance companies at some point. If it's not health insurance, it might be like a car accident. It could be life insurance. It could be your homeowners. There's lots of insurance, and usually it's always a hassle with all of them. Especially whenever it's time to claim or get things done. I mean, I remember one time actually with United Healthcare when I worked there, I had insurance through them at the time, and I went to an out-of-network dentist. Okay, and I had called up ahead of time, and I, spoke to them, and I tried to streamline the process. I was aware that, okay, I'm going to an out-of-network dentist, so this is going to be the amount I need to pay, and this is the amount they need to pay. Okay, because obviously I had gone to some of the other dentists in their network, but they just were not up to par. And the dentist that I had been going to for a long time was an out-of-network dentist. Okay. So after, doing that legwork, getting my dental work, I'm hearing from my dentist, 2-3 weeks later that their portion of the claim is still not paid. I mean, when I tell you, I spent hours trying to get that situation worked out. And I was an employee at the time. I know how stupid it can get, but guys, we can't go around we can't. We can't. We can't just go around doing that. We can't just go around doing that. And if this, psycho criminal is in your community, you want to harbor him, you don't want to call in, you don't want to, now people are mad at the woman that works at McDonald's for snitching, they say. They're not mad at the gunman for killing the CEO. They're mad at the staff for exposing what he did. He should have counted up the cost before he did what he did. At that point, it's nobody's responsibility. It's his own. It's, again, going back to my song, for every action, there's a reaction. Okay. You do wild stuff, you get wild consequences. As they say, live by the gun, die by the gun. Okay. You start down that path, be ready to be receiving what you sow. Period. What is greatly lacking? What is greatly lacking from America is problem resolution and management of emotions. Okay? The truth is, in this hardcore, rough world, filled with hardcore, rough people and unforeseen circumstances and situations, you are not going to get your way all the time. Most things that you want in life, you're going to actually have to persist to get them. That's just the truth. You will not be everybody's cup of tea. You will not always be favored. That's the reality. And when you experience such circumstances, when you're not always getting your way, or life is tough, life is tumultuous, you need to manage it. It's not the end of the world. Okay, you get a no, it's not the end of the world. Okay, truth is, if you get caught up in your emotions and you just react to any and everything, you are going to put yourself in very bad circumstances. That's just the truth. Because a lot of times, when you are a reactive person, you don't even have all the necessary information to make the determination that you do. But because you're reactive, you're just, you're just going off of the moment or the emotions or the limited information that you have. Shout out to the family. We have 9 of you here. Only Michael Pan is in the chat room. I don't know why. But first trivia question is, have you ever had a situation where you heard a piece of information? Okay. Let's say somebody called you up, was like, girl, I heard Keisha was talking about you. I heard Michael was talking about you. I heard ATM Tim was talking about you. Okay. Now you done heard that small smidgen of information. Now you ready. Oh, we about to go over there. Okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Blah, 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 blah. Only to get the full story later on and realize, oh, wait a minute. Damn, that was crazy. I was about to go do this. I was about to go do that. I was going to get out of hand with limited information. Let me see a number 1, if that applies to any of you guys. You see, because that is actually common. They say there's always, 3 sides to the story? His story, her story, and the truth. Evaluation of information is very critical, and moderation of your behavior is also very critical. You cannot just be going out here doing this stuff. And excuse me. And do you realize how dangerous this makes the environment, the American environment? You see, because we get to this point where it's vigilante. I'm completely justified in how I feel right now, based off of my perhaps limited information. I'm reacting to that. Okay. It makes it a very unsafe place for all of us. It really, really does. The truth is, living in a community, there has to be consideration of the other people that live there. This is another weakness of the American culture. Very individualistic. It's all about me. It's all about how I feel. And there's a disregard to our neighbors and the common ground that we share. And that is why this whole thing is just so crazy. You know what I mean? Just so crazy. You didn't even, look, if you was trying to teach the guy a lesson, You could have roughed him up a little bit, maybe, bound him up a little bit, maybe gave him a couple slaps. Let him know why you were disgruntled. Let him know why you were there. Instead, this gunman shot the dude in the back. He didn't even have no clue what was happening. Obviously he's a CEO. Maybe he's received threats and stuff like that. But I mean, it was so cowardly. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't give that person an opportunity to engage with you at all. You just come and taking your action quick, fast, and then it's just crazy. But I'm gonna tell y'all, if you guys do anything crazy, don't expect me to harbor you. I would never. Okay, I will never. All right. I'm thinking about the other side of the coin. Let's say you were a victim. Okay, let's say that something has happened to you. Okay, or your family, right? You want to get to the bottom of that situation, don't you? Yeah. You want people to come forward and help you locate the information and maybe bring the person responsible to justice, right? That's what you would want in this circumstances. So now people want that right now for this situation. They want the answers. Of course, if you have the information, go on and provide it. Especially if there's money involved and you can actually get a prize. I mean, from what I understand, unfortunately, she did not go about reporting her tip correctly. In order to be eligible for the prize money, she would, the reward money or whatever they call it. Yeah, the reward for information money. She needed to call the hotline that's associated, but she called the police instead. So they're not going to honor it, unfortunately, which is crazy. But nonetheless, listen, all I'm saying is live a good life. That's my charge to people. Okay. Don't get mad when you're doing BS and somebody else calls you out on it. Okay. Don't be mad at them because they have told on you. Okay. Be a man, be a woman. You need to take it. Okay. I remember one time when I had this job and I had did some shady stuff at the job. Okay. And so they brought me into the job. And how they do when they bring it in, they got like typically like a couple managers, it's like a gang up kind of thing on you. So I go in there and they're running back, these allegations and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I did it. And they were like, okay, and we were going. I said, look. I was like, look, it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking responsibility for what I've done. I'm not going to sit here and go around the block. And they looked stunned. They were just like, wow. Because I'm not about to pretend. I did what I did and I meant what I meant and I said what I said. Okay? If you do BS and you get caught, guys, hey, that's on you. The truth is you knew what you was doing when you did it. And we live in a very immature and unaccountable world where people take action and then they never want to be responsible for the action that they take. They never want to be responsible for the fallout of the action that they take, and they don't want to pay the consequences. That's not how it works. All right? Do not get mad at everybody else because of what you did. So I don't really have no sympathy for this criminal. You know what I mean? He deserves what's coming to him. He took a life. And he did it his way. And I mean, I don't know all the dynamics, but I guarantee y'all that CEO, he probably didn't have anything to do with whatever this dude's beef was. He is obviously the CEO of the company, maybe the face of the company, but the CEO functions is not them day-to-day functions. They're not. They have other things to deal with. Not your healthcare claim. Not making sure that the payment's going to the right healthcare provider, None of that stuff. They run other stuff, typically shareholder stuff, making sure that the company is profitable, making sure that the company is functioning well, maybe advertising and, stuff like that. The structure of the business, not the everyday functions. Big shout out to the family. Yeah, this is a very unpopular opinion. I'm not down with this American vigilante culture. Do you know how many times that has been used and afflicted on our own people? Hello? Second trivia question. Does anybody know the name Emmett Till? Let me see a number 2. Does anybody know the name Emmett Till? Hello, ring a bell. Shout out to the family. GBL is in the building. I see you there. A flight risk I will become the longer I remain here. Big shout out to you. S.A. Smith, I see you. Yes. All right. Michael Penn knows about Emmett Till. S.A. Smith knows about Emmett Till. GBL knows about Emmett Till. Emmett Till is another example of American vigilante culture. Okay. Emmett Till was a young teenage boy, I believe maybe 14, 15, who was accused of whistling at a white woman. And as a response, the almighty dangerous white man ganged up on Emmett Till, murdered him, mutilated his body. And this was so common. This was so common in his era of, our people just enduring and facing crazy violence and vigilante justice from the white American population. And you see, that's why, you need to look at the bigger picture. When we get into this vigilante stuff and this is how we're moving, it can also be used as a tool against us. Hello. That's why it matters. There's supposed to be channels, there's supposed to be protocols that go through when people have grievances. And, again, I'm not even saying don't retaliate in a way, but I'm just saying, like, this was a bit extreme, And in my opinion, guys, I mean, I'm going to go on record and saying it. When you actually take the life of someone, I don't know how much they suffer in that moment. It's probably going to happen a couple minutes and then they're gone. Whatever you're suffering from, whatever kind of pain you're going through, whatever, it's not been reciprocated if you do that. In my opinion, sometimes for some people, it's just not a befitting punishment. There are other longer enduring, more potent kind of ways to punish people than such what happened to this CEO. And so I wanted to express this. I want to always promote my audience to be thinking people, mature people, proactive people, not reactive people, looking at the bigger picture, because see, that's why I don't live in the US. I realize that it's not even at a point, it's not even about how I live my life anymore. Okay. It's about the depreciation of the quality of the environment I'm living in and the mental instability of them. You see, because in a moment, your life can be taken away by one of these completely insane, mad, violent, uneducated, dangerous people. They've just snatched your life. And for you, your life is a precious commodity. You've invested in your life. You've invested in your education. You want to live. You're working and going forward because you want to live. You want to live a good life. You want to live a robust life. It's so unfair that some nobody will come and snatch your life. But obviously, the closer proximity you are to such people, the higher your probability of these type of things happening. I kindly like to remind you guys, mass shootings are not happening all over the world. Police brutality is not as extreme everywhere around the world. Although there have probably been in the entire American nation today, there's probably been like dozens of deaths. They have, the last time I checked the statistics, they had about 100 shootings a day in America currently, across, encompassing the entire country. If you think about it, there's what, 51 states in America. All right. And obviously some states have more crime than others, like some bigger cities, probably New York, Chicago, this kind of stuff. But if you think about it, all right, to get 100 shootings a day, you only need 2 shootings per city a day. And that's obviously happening. And in some locations, it's multiple shootings a day. So, Baltimore, Philly, Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, these kind of places. And sometimes there's 2, 3, 4, 5 shootings a day or whatever. So that's just one city. And then obviously there might be a state or two that doesn't have any incidents. Big shout outs to Go Taste and See. Definitely insurance companies are a scam. Does that give us the right to just start lashing out on people? I mean, you see, because I think about myself, like I said, I used to work for United Healthcare. There's a big corporate building. I don't know if it's still there, in the Polaris area in Columbus. Things Go Taste and See, babe. Yeah, I got some new glasses when I was in England a couple weeks ago. Yes. Big shout out to Jennifer Edie. I see you there in the building. And so, I think about myself in this instant, coming out of the United Healthcare building, getting off work and maybe meeting a disgruntled customer in the parking lot or whatever. You know what I mean? Or wherever you work. Some of you guys work for big companies. Some of you guys work for Apple, or you work for a bank, or you work for Verizon or T-Mobile. We start getting into this vigilante stuff. It puts us at risk when people start wilding out, when people want to make a statement. You know what I mean? I think, again, some of the focus in America needs to go into emotional health. I don't actually believe that all these incidents are connected to mental health conditions. I think some people just don't know how to regulate their emotions. They're being, it's like adult temper tantrums. There are some people that have mental illness, which is beyond their control. They're schizophrenic, they're bipolar, they are manic, or they have extreme anxiety, and they cannot regulate these things, or these things are involuntarily happening to them. That is mental health. You throwing a temper tantrum because your boyfriend broke up with you, you really hate your boss and they gave you a crazy project. It's for you to regulate and realize that this is life sometimes. You getting dumped, divorced, being disappointed, it's not the end of the world. I absolutely had a nightmarish day in England the day before my show. Okay, my show was on November 30th. The night before that was a hellish day. Okay, if I started acting up based off of that current day, I could have jeopardized even just this moment. You see, so I promote, obviously, problem resolution. Sometimes, the problem could be fixed. Sometimes. Sometimes you're really upset in the heat of the moment. And if you give it a little bit of time, things can turn around. You know, sometimes you get disappointed, but at the end of the day, you realize, wow, that was actually a blessing in disguise. That was actually, that actually worked in my favor. But if you don't let things take their course, you're never going to get you're never going to get that understanding, because at the onset of the situation, you're reacting. And sometimes you're doing irretrievable damage, such as taking someone's life. I mean, it's over for that dude. He's not going to be acquitted. There's nothing that can justify what he did. He used excessive force on a complete stranger, probably someone who was not responsible for his grievance, albeit the CEO. But again, reality tells all of us that have worked corporately that, I mean, I know when I worked at United Healthcare, I never even saw the CEO. Matter of fact, our regional director didn't even live in Columbus. He lived in Tennessee, and he managed like Indiana and all this stuff. I never even saw the dude, And so my thing is like, again, I've discussed throughout this episode my opinion. That's why I call this episode very unpopular opinion, because I know that based off of the way people look at insurance companies, they feel like, oh yeah, he had it coming. But I just think it was ridiculous. And I mean, yeah, they might try to find excuses because obviously the murderer is a white man. So they got to always try to find excuses for them. There's always some antecedent that led up to their violence. But at the end of the day, I mean, what he did was in cold blood, bro. He can't claim self-defense. He can't, he snuck up on that man like a coward, shot him in the back multiple times. It was dirty. I mean, if it was me, I would actually want the man to know, like on some R. Kelly in the desert stuff, like, I did this to you. Like, let him see what's going on, make him to understand the situation. In that situation, he didn't even know what was happening. I mean, obviously when he got shot, he probably felt the pain, but he didn't know what was going on. It all happened so fast. Big shout out to the family. Very true. But again, one thing has nothing to do with the others. I mean, we know how these insurance companies work. So why are you losing the plot? Why are you losing the plot? Like I said, I worked at United Healthcare, and they were denying my claim. I had to get off work in my free time and call into United Healthcare to try to sort out my own claim. If I didn't burn the building down, if I didn't stalk the CEO or my boss, then why would, I mean, let's be real. It's irrational behavior. It's American vigilante culture where people feel like they can just, enact justice. You know what I'm saying? And the craziest thing is, like, Black people don't feel that way because they don't enact justice on people that they should. Hello, people that are terrorizing them, people that are making their way hard or anything, they never do. So I'm like, okay, so like, what's the parameters of this vigilante? Because are we going to turn it all the way up or what? Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? S.A. Smith says, and who knows who makes the rules of what is covered and what is not? Many companies have board members calling. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's just so disgusting to see the response to this murder, because it's like, look, guys, if you've worked corporately, you know that there are different departments that handle blah, 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 blah. Okay? If you just going to pick off anybody, because of your grievance, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I remember a couple years ago, it's been a minute ago, I think. There was a man in California who had a grievance with one of the TSA, okay? And so he went into LAX, the Los Angeles airport, and he killed the first TSA agent that he found, okay? And I remember the TSA, I believe he was like maybe Mexican, but he was like a father of three, and I remember seeing it on the news. So when they got the guy, found the guy, or found he had a manifesto, you know, they always prepare a manifesto nowadays. And he basically said that some TSA agent had caused him to miss his flight in the past. And so he just wanted to kill a TSA agent. And you see, guys, that's what I'm talking about. You see, some people are looking at this incident, and some people are, again, because of their opinions of insurance companies, they're like, oh, yeah, he had it coming. But see, this vigilante culture is crazy. So you got beef with a TSA, any TSA, all right? And now you're just going to go in the airport and just take it out on anybody. That is mad. That is crazy. So, guys, big shout out to the family. Big shout out to the family today. Yes, I just wanted to come and talk this current event because, you know, it's crazy. And I think there needs to be a voice of reason sometimes. Get your emotions under control, guys. You know, learn how to mediate your emotions. It's a very, very important aspect of life because people are going to try you. Life is hard. Situations are crazy sometimes. And if you don't know how to control yourself, you're going to do things that you regret. And then when the time comes for you to pay that cost, you're not going to be ready. You know, Mr. Luigi, you know, he's about to pay that cost. He's about to pay that cost, probably life in prison. Okay. And when you think about it, is it worth it? I mean, you know, for me, I'm in my 40s. I don't know how much longer my life is going to be, but I mean, I reckon spending decades or, you know, years in prison is awful. Just for a moment of action, just for a moment. And the cause that you have done all this for, did it get solved? Like, it's not even worth it. And when we look at the other scenarios like rejection from relationships, this is another area where people really struggle to accept what it is. Get somebody else. There are millions of men and women out there. You want the one who doesn't want you. Why? It's not the end of the world. Matter of fact, get your revenge body on, you know what I'm saying? Go to the gym, maybe give yourself a makeover, get you a new boyfriend or girlfriend. That's the best flex of all. Okay, no jail time involved. No, nothing. Let people go on. You can't make people love you. You can't make people want to be with you when they don't want to be. If the relationship is toxic, let them go and walk away. All this, people can't handle rejection. What? You got fired from your job. Maybe your boss is a bitch. Excuse my language. Maybe they are. I've had plenty of bosses that are bitches. You get fired from a job. Yeah, it's not great. It's typically not what you planned. But life goes on. And sometimes when that happens to you, it opens the doors up for other things. You know, plenty of people have lost their jobs for some reason, and that has been the catalyst for them to start their business or travel. Sometimes they get settlements, you know, severance pay and stuff, which gives them an opportunity to have a little bit of freedom, a little bit of space, you know. So, like, look for the silver lining, guys, sometimes with these situations. Now, obviously, if you have an insurance claim, for instance, and it gets denied, it's annoying. You know, God forbid you're in like a life or death situation where you need a procedure or a specialist and your insurance company is not um, cooperating. But I mean, if it, we don't need to make things bigger than they are sometimes, and we are very good at that, and it's just unhealthy for us. All of this siphoning of our emotions is just unhealthy, guys. And I was having a conversation with my significant other, because he is a very passionate person. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, you need to decompress a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world's still turning. Don't take on unnecessary stress, guys. People want to know how I stay youthful and whatnot. I'm trying to reduce my stresses. And as you get older, you should come to that realization that some of the things that you stress about and some of the things that are, you've thought were just like so important. As you get older, you realize that, wow, it's really not that big a deal. Nobody cares. It doesn't really matter. I can take my time. Or you reach the mark and you're just like, okay, I've done it. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you guys so much. Michael Penn says, more Americans have either left the country or planning to do so. Actually, I did a story on that last year about how last year was a record year for Americans requesting their passports and what's the right word? I can't think of the word, but basically rescinding their citizenship. When they denouncing their American citizenship to move abroad. Westerners are flocking the hell out. Not just Americans, Canadians, Europeans, British. People are tired of the slave life. And actually, I think it might be a viable option for some of us before you get to the end of your rope. Okay. The Bible, my favorite parable of the Bible when I was a Bible toter, is the wise people see the danger ahead of them and avoid it. Okay, so you see that the path you're on is not leading you to the end result that you want. It's not helping you reach your objectives. It's not helping you get to your goals. Or you see that you're just getting to the end of your rope, and you worry about, maybe I might flip out one day if this continues. Do the needful and alleviate that. Okay, because you know how it goes. You know what potentially can be the end result of this stuff. And I think a lot of Westerners are realizing, you know what? I want a better quality of life. I can live better in Asia. I can live better in Africa. I want to be in a tropical environment. I want to be in a safer environment. I want to be in a Black environment and have less racial tensions. I want to eat organic foods, and they're making those proactive decisions to alleviate the stress. And I tell you guys, consistently and continually, moving here to Ghana is just it has just dispersed so much of the daily stresses that I was dealing with. I mean, the harsh weather, it really, really takes a toll on us. We don't always realize how that starts the equation. And I noticed when I was in the UK, I was talking to one of my friends too. Shout outs to Lippy, one of the musicians I have some tracks with, Sunday Born and What Is It About Africa. We were talking, and he was like, Gina, everybody's just on the edge. He's like, so you see people going back and forth over this and that. I saw it happen a couple times when I was there. There were some people on the train and on the train platform just going back and forth with each other. Apparently, when they were getting off the train, one guy bumped into the back of the other guy and didn't say, excuse me. And the guy was really upset about it and giving him a piece of his mind. You see, people on the edge. Don't allow yourself to get to that point, guys. Especially if you know that you are the type that might do something rash or something that's very costly to you. You know, be smart. And if you feel like the environment is overwhelming, you know, I really feel that way. You know, living in Ghana now 4 good years, when I go back to the West, I find the West completely overwhelming. You know, the pace of it, the drama, the problems, the people. It's just like, and you know, whereby here in Ghana, you might have one thing to manage, maybe one or two things that you have on your docket for the day. When out there, you're juggling, you know, maybe 10 problems in your day. You wake up, and before you've even gone out the house, you know, you've been confronted with this, and it's crazy, guys, and it's overwhelming. It's additional unnecessary stress. It can be taking a toll on your mental well-being and your physical health, because stress is not good for our health. You know, it will make you age, it will make you bitter, it will make you less tolerant. It can impact your sleep quality and all of this. Big shout outs, guys. All right. Go Taste and See says, I have a relative who lived in France for over 20 years and he wants to move back to the US, but he says he can't afford it now. He said healthcare would do him in. Yeah, the healthcare is really expensive. Really expensive. I mean, even the last time I was living there, it was expensive. And that's been my last corporate job was in what, 2015, I believe. And it was, you know, it was crazy back then. You know, you were probably paying maybe over $100 every pay period for it. And I mean, in most cases, you're not even using it. You know, you might, if you're fortunate, you don't have any health problems, you might use it once or twice a year, you know, just going for your normal checkups, just going for your glasses or your dental. And even a lot of times they don't even want to pay, you know, no one paid nothing. You still got to pay a copay. You still got to pay for this. Still pay. It's nuts. Big shout outs. It's so stressful right now. People are nervous about what the next 4 years looks like in America. I don't know, Michael Penn. I don't hold health insurance here. I mean, the way that the healthcare system here is pretty much cash and carry. You go to the doctor, you pay, you see. I've only so far used a dermatologist, you know, for my ongoing skin issues. And again, like I said, I just go, pay the fee, see the doctor, get your medication, and you know, it's pretty streamlined here. So I don't really know a lot. I know some of our, you know, older folks that are here, obviously they may be having more health concerns or interacting with the healthcare system more than me. But I know that they do have videos here on YouTube about the healthcare system here in Ghana. So if you have questions about that, just Google that. I know some people have done extensive videos and gone to research the facilities and all that stuff. So there are a lot of resources here on YouTube in terms of the healthcare here in Ghana. Yes. Way cheaper. Way cheaper, way cheaper, way cheaper, way cheaper. I mean, you can go to the doctor for $5, you know, basically. I think the last time I went to the dermatologist, it was probably about 140 CDs. And I mean, again, you know, medication for like 7 CDs. You convert this to dollars, it might not even be $1. It might be like $1 or $2, you know, compared to maybe hundreds sometimes. You know, some of the medications in America are just like impossible. Some of the medications the insurance won't even cover. So you got to pay out of pocket that stuff. And it's just a mess. But nonetheless, it's still not a reason, you know, going back to the original topic of this video, vigilante culture in America, dangerous, guys. You guys might feel like the CEO deserved it, but what if somebody feels like you deserve it? Huh? What if somebody says, oh, Go Taste and See, she drives crazy, she cut me off, I'm going to go follow her home and give her one of these. You see what I'm saying? Because There are no boundaries when we get into that vigilante culture. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. All right. So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you to everybody in the chat room tonight engaging. Yes. If you like my content, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, we are raising funds for the Music Project 2025. So you can send any funds. It's all scrolling across here at the bottom. PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, whatever. I want to release. I have actually currently about 6 songs to record in the studio. So that's my next project, is getting the monies together for that. And beyond that, visuals, bringing out some visuals to go with the music, because the music is great, but obviously, people have short attention spans. So we need to create some really dynamic visuals. So those are some of the projects that are on the docket for 2025. Obviously, with the support of the family, it will be so much easier to achieve. We have over 6,000 people on the platform. I only need to raise probably maybe about like $1,500 to be able to do a lot of things from here in Ghana. That's the advantage we have here in Ghana, is with the currency exchange, you're able to get a lot more bang for your buck. So I'm obviously coming to the family, let you guys know that is something that I'm working on, and something that you guys can definitely invest in. Okay. S.A. Smith says, don't forget to like the video. Please make sure you guys do that. All right. And this is a great one to end it here. Go taste and see. She says, we have to do what is right by all people regardless. That is how communities operate. Okay? That is how communities operate. This whole individual perspective of the West, if we want to be honest, it is destroying. It's destroying. Because when I feel justified in my feelings, whatever that means, I can just do whatever, and that can impact all the people around me, and I don't care. And you see, it never ends as well, because you feel justified in your action. Now I'm going to take my action. I feel justified in my action. There has to be some common ground. And if we're honest, life is better when it functions like that. If you guys have ever been athletes and played on a team, nobody likes the ball hog. Nobody likes the person who doesn't pass. Nobody likes the person who's not in communication with the rest of the team, trying to be the all-star and everything like that. Sometimes it costs the team victory because one person is trying to shine and not working with his teammates. There are moments for you to have your individualism, but when you live among people, it's only wise and fair, and it only makes logical sense to consider the people around you. Just imagine that you were like the dickhead neighbor in your building. Okay, let's say you live in an apartment building and there's like 10 people on your floor and you're the dickhead on the floor. Okay, nobody likes you. Now imagine that your apartment catches fire, or there's a burglar trying to break in. Your neighbor is going to turn a deaf eye because they don't like you. Okay, but let's say you have a good relationship with them and you interact with them and all of that. If they see some hanky-panky going on, they're going to step up and be like, hey, what's going on? Call the police or do the necessary. That's why having relationships with the people around you, it makes sense. It makes sense. Just so we all have a decent relationship, working relationship. Okay, that's the basis of community. So anyway, guys, I'm going now. It's quite late here actually in Ghana, almost 3 a.m. Lately, I've been up late in the night working on my music. So yes, I came to see you guys tonight. All right. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.